Well everyone, I can finally announce it. I today received in the post a brand new mint in the packaging. Look, you can see it here. The packaging did have slight rips, but that's beside the point. Anyway, back to the actual plot. Mint in the packaging, Bluebird, Thomas, Terence, and the Quarry Adventure, as the box says here. So now I'm going to go through and give you a proper review of this actual set, in now, as I know, its full form, and discover some odd secrets about this toy. Everyone, you can now look at the packaging. So this is what it looks like. Of course, it has the entire contents of the set neatly set out in front of you. We can see Thomas here is at an angle, so you can just see his face looking on the side. The truck. 3 trees. Interesting, isn't it? I told you that I thought that 3 of the trees were missing, but as a very helpful commenter replied, this set only comes with 3 trees. Then why 6 spaces? The 2 boulders here, Terence, and the 3 logs. Now I know what they look like. Everyone now, yes, it's a different time of day. When I did this part of the review, it's because the power's gone out, so that rumbling here in the distance is a power generator. Anyway, now I can talk to you about the box. I put the engines back in the box. You can see that easily displaying all the components. I did leave the trees in the packaging though. And you can see on the side, Miniature World Thomas the Tank Engine, with your typical advertising of the features of this set. I would have to say though, whether Terence is a favourite character is debatable, but anyway. And look, picture of the set folded up, except that the font on here is different to the one actually included in the set. It's a bit odd, discrepancies already. Now we turn it over. A nice, oversaturated picture, of course. A set picture of the set in its entirety, explaining all the features. And then, hang on, what's this? Look at Thomas's face. That isn't Thomas's face, that's... James's face. So there's another discrepancy there. Once again, here we can see that the 2 other sets that were released that year of the series, there is still one more set, the magnetic set, that was released the year after. And then, a second discrepancy. Look, the colour of Terence's tractions. They're light grey instead of dark grey. Interesting, isn't it? Well, there you go. A very rare and hard to find picture of these sets in their boxes. When unboxing this, I did notice though, why 3 trees? 6 trees, as I'll show you just right as I put them in right now, look far nicer. So why would the company go to the effort of putting 6 holes to give us 3 trees? Is this just a scam? Or is it so kids can customize the layout to put the trees wherever they want? If you ask me, it's stupid. All the trees should be included so that we can have a nice forest. There we go. This added to the set. We can have a nice forest over here, as well as a few decorative trees over here. Now, here we can now have a look at the features which I didn't know included this set. Like the first one, the boulders in this set are actually quite large, especially when we look at them in comparison to the size of the holes. So this brings up the question, look, here we go, with a quick move, the boulders fall off, and as I try and place them on now, we can see that they don't sit too well. But anyway, personal preference. If you ask me, my homemade boulders, which you can see in the second part of this review, look far better. These look slightly too large, but... And look! How many presses took to get that one off? Strange, isn't it? We can also move on to now the log feature, which now that I know has 3 of these logs, which I'm actually examining close. Now, these logs are probably very easy to lose, as we can see. They're really, really quite tiny. To be entirely honest, you cannot grasp the smallness of these sets. Look, here we go. Until you have them. They sit neatly on here. Now, the logs themselves are a funny shape, if you ask me. They've got like this strange dimple, almost as if like they've been squashed on purpose. Still effective logs. Now, as I said before, I wasn't sure whether the actual logs would be at the right height to be loaded into the truck with this mechanism. And, as I'm about to show you, they're not. If I place the truck here and pull this, success. Or anti-success, if you ask me. Here's the next interesting point. These trucks are meant to have the logs piled like this, 3 high. But if I push it down the hill, the top one falls down. Odd, isn't it? This isn't the only thing that's odd with this set. Though I love it dearly, and it's still probably one of my favourite Thomases, after my Michael one, of course, I do have something quite interesting to point out about it. When we couple Thomas up, see, look, yes, has a coupling. We can use a small coupling here. As Thomas goes over this very steep hill, look what happens. Here we go, Thomas is chuff, 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 chuff. Look, Thomas, as when it goes this way, and the truck stays straight. They don't go down the hill very well. But then once at the bottom, they're okay. So this physics of the set haven't been worked out entirely well. Same as if we, sorry Mr. Boulder, move the 2 boulders out of the way. We can see that as we move Thomas up the hill, the truck fishtails off the track, and only re-rails once we're back on the bridge. But still, quite interesting to see the full set together and see that how, although it's quite an amazing set, there's still quite a few problems with it. Especially because, as I haven't shown here, this is an actual bridge that came with the set. I switched it with my old one, because the bridge that it came with had sides that was squashed in, so when the truck went through the bridge, it got stuck. It's also interesting to note that the decal applications are different. This Terrence, as you can see, has a slightly off centre to, well, his left, or our right. But if I have a look at the other one, you can see it's actually reversed and opposite. So isn't that interesting? There's plenty of discrepancy even between these 2 sets. So now I give the verdict. Well, I spent $50 on the set. $50 Australian, that is. And the actual set, of course, I spent $40 on. The rest was on postage. Because the buyer decided they were going to be very kind, and I thank them especially for this, because they offered me such a low price for postage. As I said, if you want to be a Thomas collector, this is a must-have. And now that we can have a good picture of these other 2, as well as the Magic Railroad, which is the one that's magnetic, we can get a glimpse into the eye of these toys which could have been, should have been, but weren't.